You turned off your phone. You closed all the tabs. You put on your noise-canceling headphones, brewed the perfect cup of coffee, and told the world, "Do not disturb." You were ready. Ready to finally do it. Ready to enter that sacred, mythical state of deep work. And for 15 glorious minutes, it worked. You were a productivity god. Then you found yourself staring at the wall, wondering what's for dinner, and an hour later you woke up from a YouTube rabbit hole about medieval blacksmithing with a half-written sentence on your screen. And the worst part? This constant cycle of trying and failing doesn't just waste our time. It chips away at our self-esteem, making us believe we're incapable of achieving great things. But I promise you, that's a lie. I've been there. We've all been there. We've read the books, we've watched the animated summaries. The idea of deep work is beautiful, isn't it? A superpower in a distracted world. The secret key that separates the successful from the merely busy. The problem is, for most of us, it feels like we've been given the keys to a Ferrari, but nobody taught us how to actually drive it. We know what we're supposed to do, but the moment we try, our own brain seems to sabotage us at every turn. For years, I was obsessed with this puzzle. I followed every rule. I scheduled my days down to the minute. I created the perfect distraction-free environment. And yet, true, sustained focus felt like trying to catch smoke with my bare hands. But then I discovered something crucial, something these productivity guides often gloss over. The problem isn't the theory of deep work. The problem is that we are fighting the wrong enemies. We think the enemy is our phone, or that notification sound, or that open tab, but the real enemies are far more subtle, and they live inside our own heads. And today, I'm going to introduce you to them, and more importantly, I'm going to show you how to beat them. Stick with me, because the first enemy is one you probably mistake for a friend. The first and most powerful enemy of focus is emotional exhaustion. We've been taught to manage our time, but we completely ignore the most critical resource of all, our mental energy. Deep work isn't just about being free from distractions. It's an incredibly demanding cognitive activity. It's a heavy weightlifting session for your brain. And what happens when you try to lift a heavy weight after you're already exhausted? You fail. Or worse, you injure yourself. I used to schedule these perfect 4-hour blocks for deep work, but I'd schedule them after a day packed with stressful meetings and 1,000 tiny decisions. I'd sit down at my desk and feel nothing. My brain was a desert. It felt like an engine trying to run on empty. The issue wasn't my discipline. It was my energy tank. So what's the fix? Stop managing your time and start managing your energy. The real game changer for me was discovering productivity cycles. Instead of aiming for a marathon session, work in intense 90-minute bursts and then take a real 20-minute break. And by real, I don't mean switching from your work screen to your social media screen. I mean getting up, walking around, looking out a window, doing nothing. You have to let your cognitive muscles actually recover. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's how elite performers maintain peak performance. But managing your energy is only step one, because even with a full tank, you can still be tricked by the second, even sneakier enemy of focus. This one is called productive procrastination. This is the most insidious trap because it feels like you're working. It's when you avoid the single most important, most difficult task on your list by doing a dozen other smaller, easier tasks that are still technically work. I remember trying to write the script for my very first video. It was terrifying. I spent 2 full days designing the perfect channel banner, a banner for a channel with 0 videos. That's the bunny my brain chose over the lion. Your brain hates ambiguity and difficulty. That big, complex project represents a huge, scary lion. Organizing your files? That's a cute, fluffy bunny. Your brain will always choose the bunny. It's safer, it's predictable. So how do you fight your own survival instinct? You have to trick your brain. The most powerful tool for this is the 2-minute rule. You tell yourself, I'm not going to write the whole report. I'm just going to open the document and write 1 sentence, just for 2 minutes. What this does is it bypasses the brain's fear response. But here's the magic. Once you start, inertia takes over. That one sentence turns into a paragraph. You've tricked the lion into thinking it was a bunny, and now you're taming it. But even if you manage your energy and conquer procrastination, there's one final boss waiting for you, and it's the one that makes most people give up entirely. The final enemy is the myth of the monk's cave. So many productivity gurus talk about creating a distraction-free environment as if we all have access to a soundproofed cabin in the woods. But what about the open-plan office or working from home when your kids are having a meltdown? And here's the crazy part. Some studies show that a completely silent environment can actually be worse for creativity than one with a little ambient noise. The real goal isn't silence, it's control. The solution is to build a focus ritual. A ritual is a sequence of actions you perform every single time before you start a session of deep work. It acts as a powerful psychological trigger that tells your brain, okay, everything else fades away now. It's time to concentrate. Your ritual could be anything. It could be clearing your desk, putting on a specific playlist, making a specific type of tea. It doesn't matter what the steps are, as long as you do them consistently. This ritual becomes an anchor in the chaos. You're not trying to build a silent cave, you're building a mental fortress. You're training your brain to enter a state of focus on command, regardless of the external world. And that right there is the real superpower. So you see, the path to deep work isn't about having superhuman discipline. It's about understanding the real battles you need to fight. It's about managing your energy, not just your time. It's about outsmarting your brain's instinct to procrastinate on what truly matters. And it's about building a personal ritual that can anchor your focus in the storm of everyday life. Forget the guilt. Forget feeling broken because you can't stay focused for hours on end. That's not the game. The real game is to build these systems, one small habit at a time. This isn't a switch you flip, it's a muscle you train, and it starts today. So let me ask you, what's the single biggest enemy that sabotages your focus? Is it exhaustion, productive procrastination, or your chaotic environment? Drop your biggest struggle in the comments below. Let's talk about it, because understanding the enemy is the first step to victory. And if you're ready to stop just admiring the idea of focus and actually start building it, subscribe to this channel because we're just getting started.